This is lesson 5.6, evaluating functions. We are going to go over the warm-ups. So, go ahead and pause the video, do the warm-ups, and then press play. Okay, find the value of y for the following. So, x equals negative 3. Y equals 3 times negative 3 plus 6. Y equals 3 times negative 3 is negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. That is a function. Your x is your input, your y is your output. I put in my x, I got out my y. Find the value of y when x is negative 1. Y equals 8 times negative 1 squared minus 5 times negative 1. Now, I will say, if you did not put your negative 1 in parentheses, you will get the wrong answer if you're using the calculator and it's not in parentheses. This is negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, so y equals 8 times positive 1 is 8. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5, so y equals 13. State the domain and the range. Well, for my domain, it's my x value. Here's my x's. 0, 1, 3, 4. Notice how I did not write zeros twice. These are my y's. My lowest y is negative 8, negative 5, 1, 2. I did not write my 2's twice. Okay, today's lesson is extremely easy. Functions are often described as equations. Y equals 4x minus 3. Y is a function of x because your y depends on your x. Function notation. Instead of writing y, I'm going to write f of x. F of x and y are the same thing. What's another way to write the variable y? F of x. Okay? So, if this really means, if f of x really means y, I could, if you want, I could just cross that out and put y. If you want to do that, you can. It means the same thing. This is f of x equals 3x plus 6, f of negative 5. What letter was here? Here? Well, that was your x. So what this means is, this means f of negative 5, this means x equals negative 5. So all I have to do is simply substitute negative 5 for every x. Every x gets a negative 5 when you see this. F of x equals 3x plus 6, f of negative 5. So we are simply going to substitute negative 5 for x and then simplify. So f of x equals 3 times negative 5 plus 6. F of x equals negative 15 plus 6. F of x equals, what is negative 15 plus 6? Negative 9. Okay. If you want to put y instead of f of x, I don't care. So all you're going to do now is substitute 300 for x. Negative 4 for x. I would recommend that you do this. I would go ahead and replace f of x for y. It's what you're used to seeing. Y equals minus. Now, instead of putting the number right here, do me a favor and put a box, and then put plus 6. Now, what number goes in the box? Negative 4. So, y equals 4 plus 6. Y equals 10. One of the most mistakes. Yes, that's good English. One of the most seen mistakes on a test is not putting the double negative here. You will simply put f of x equals negative 4 plus 6, and then tell me this is 2. That's wrong. So, if you take a moment to first put the entire equation, and wherever the letter is, you put a box, and then fill in the box, that'll help you. Let's go ahead and look at number 6. Instead of f of x, I'm going to write y. 3/4. I put my box for my letter, minus 1. Inside my box goes the number 4. 3/4 times 4 is 3, so y equals 3 minus 1. Y equals 2. Okay, now when you get to number 7, the box isn't going to work anymore. Because if you're going to put this in the calculator, you can't put a box in the calculator. And when you put it in the calculator, you're going to need to put parentheses in the calculator. So the box isn't going to work for you. You're going to have to put parentheses. Put the negative 2 in there. Now, when you put this in the calculator, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 minus 1. Y equals 3. That's what this says. When you square something, you take the base, which is the bigger number, and you multiply it by itself as many times as your exponent tells you to. So this is negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. Same thing with number 8. Y equals negative parentheses squared minus 3 parentheses plus 5. What goes in this parentheses right here? Negative 1. And negative 1 goes in here. Okay. Now, this is where it gets real tricky and why you have to have the parentheses. This negative sign outside has to stay outside. It is not the same as the negative sign in front of this one right here. So, order of operations. What's the first thing you do? Exponents. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. However, this negative sign outside says the opposite of negative 1 squared. What's the opposite of negative 1 squared? Negative 1. Because negative 1 squared is positive 1. So this becomes negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3 plus 5. Negative 3 plus 5 is 8 minus 1 is 7. If you put it in the calculator, just like this here, with your parentheses, it will give you the right answer. So, number 9, you can do on your own. This is the worksheet. We're not going to go over it. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to come in and see me. Have a good day.